Hey everyone, What If Fan here, bringing you another exciting part of What If becoming a mangaka in One Piece world. You can find the fanfic title and the original author's name on my Patreon page. Make sure to check it out and show them some love. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Quick update. What If copy system in Naruto will be going on hold soon, since we've nearly caught up with the author. So now, I need your help picking the next project for the channel. I'm currently deciding between these three fanfics. What if transmigrated in One Piece and becoming a marine? What if transmigrated as Minato Namikaze? What if transmigrated into a nightmare mode Dragon Ball world? Please vote in the poll and let me know which story you'd like to see next. I'll take the top pick and start working on that series next. Also check out my Patreon channel for early releases of all the series, where you can find all the series released one day ahead of YouTube. Alright, let's jump into it. Chapter 281, Devil. Blueprint of Pluton. Devil. A human can only be described with this word if he has a devilish heart and a demonic ability that can cause damage to the world as much as a true devil can do. In the pirate world, there is no doubt that there are a lot of devils like these even though they are human. But does this apply to her daughter as well? Why do people call her cute daughter a devil in the manga? If her daughter was really a devil, does this mean that she and her husband are also devils? Alvia's hand pressed on the volume book, which was like an encyclopedia with a lot of pages. She was clearly worried and confused. As she continued to read the chapters, the anxiety and confusion continued to build up. Although she didn't really need to worry about the present and the future, too, since everything wouldn't go back to how it was and wouldn't be what it should have been. But what if the manga of One Piece affected the way people would view her daughter in the future? This is what she didn't want to see. Anything that would harm her little daughter in any way, she must fight it. And provide her daughter with a healthy growth environment. Just like her husband who fights for the same target. So far the events in the manga have been going in an unknown direction toward revealing the story of Nico Robin's past. But is Nico Robin really her daughter? No, her daughter is Rudius D. Robin. So is she worried and sympathetic to a fictional character in this case? No, also, Nico Robin is her daughter's future that she failed to live in. The anxiety she's feeling is just guilt. Now that she's given the chance to find out what she wasn't supposed to find out, she must embracing Nico Robin's future at all costs. Embracing it means accepting it. Little Robin, I know your past may not be good, but I trust that your future will be bright. Nico Alvia touched Robin's dark-eyed face in the manga and said with teary eyes. The scene she's reading was the scene of Robin and Iceberg talking. Since the emergence of Cipher Pole number 9, Alvia knew the situation in the manga was much worse than she first thought. Equals 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 equals. Iceberg, NMA. I was surprised to meet you here. I never thought I'd see you here, Nico Robin. Robin. Have we met before? Iceberg, last night was the first time. But I had always wanted to meet you. Robin, in order to kill me. Iceberg, that is correct. Before you destroy the world. Ha. Robin. Iceberg, seeking, studying, and deciphering the true history. The world government had made so illegal a long time ago. As you probably already know. Robin, how do you know about the true history? Iceberg, just knowing that the poneglyphs exist is not a crime. But in this world, there is only one person who can decipher it. And that is you. That is the reason since you were only 8 years old. There has been a high bounty on your head. You are the only person in this world that can resurrect the ancient weapons. Robin. So you know about that too. Iceberg, if you are with the CP9, then you must have left the Straw Hats and are now working for the government. It's weird on their part to hire someone they have been trying to arrest for so long. But I don't care about their reasons for doing this. Because once the weapons are revived, it won't matter if the user is good or evil. One thing is certain. The weapons will never bring peace to the world. Instead, they will destroy it. The things that have been buried, along with history, should never be unearthed. Robin, yes. I agree. But you should mind your own business. Regardless of how I choose to study history. You're just an outsider, you have no place to say anything. Iceberg, that is not so. The truth is, I'm very much involved. Because I hold the blueprint of the ancient weapon, Pluton. Equals 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 equals. Pluton again. That's unbelievable. Blueprint? This is not possible because Pluton is not. Alvia paused mid-sentence when she saw something that shocked her in the next conversation between Iceberg and Robin. She didn't care about ancient weapons, all she cared about was her daughter only. The only girl who survived the Ohara incident. What incident is he talking about? The same devilish mind as the Ohara demons. What does he mean by that? He's calling my daughter a devil again? No, this time he's calling all the Ohara's people devils. Alvia's confusion deepened the more she read. She sensed an ominous omen from what Iceberg called the Ohara incident. What kind of accidents can one person survive? A devastating accident for the island. Not only Alvia, who carefully scrutinized Iceberg's words, but all of Ohara's people, including archaeologists, did. As expected, the moment Tom mentioned that he had the blueprints for the ancient weapon, Pluton, there was an uproar like no other across the world. Art store, Water 7. Tom looked at the manga book with wide eyes of shock, and then he looked at Iceberg with complex looks. Okay. We're done. The moment his Pluton blueprints were revealed, Tom felt several heavy gazes locked on him. People from the world government, people from the Navy, people from the underworld mafias, pirates, and hunters. All kinds of dangerous people laid eyes on him and his disciples. He was not a fool not to discern the greedy and excited looks in their eyes. Suddenly, a sexy store goddess walked out of Rob's personal section. She was dressed in typical maid clothes. With blonde hair, blue eyes, and long legs, Stussy looked very gorgeous in her new look. Mr. Tom, Rob-sama has invited you to the Art Palace, you and your small family. Do you want to follow me now, or until you finish reading the manga? Please, show the way. Tom accepted the invitation of the beautiful store goddess without hesitation. After all, he wasn't a fool not to see the only safe road ahead. After leaving Stussy and Tom's family, the CP member walked out of the art store and made a phone call. The target was pulled away before we had a chance to call him. With the people of Sky Sword. Holy Land, Marigoa. What happened? The long-bearded Gorosei asked with an uncomfortable expression. We don't know how it happened, but Tom and his family didn't make it out of the art store even after it closed, sir. CP0 agent replied with his head down. Damn it! Did you make sure the blueprints were with him? From noticing his terrified, unsettled expressions, we concluded that the blueprints were with him at 80%. That's really high. Pass my orders, surround Water 7 with everything we have, and don't let Tom leave. You can use violence if necessary. Besiege the Skyport too. The blueprints of the ancient weapon must return to our hands or better yet disappear with Water 7. Since our plans which we knew nothing about were already revealed in the manga before we even interacted, we have nothing to fear, we are the world government after all. Others should fear us. If the Sky Sword men interfere in this, crush them. Understood, Gorosei-sama. Chapter 282, Knowledge Light Clan. Tree of Knowledge, Ohara. A week before now, at this time it was the first day after the volume was published, and the storm had just begun. Are we demons, guys? Zadie looked at his fellow profession with confused eyes and asked a vague question. His fellow archaeologists were no less confused. What they read in this chapter on the tongue of iceberg made them very angry and sad. It's not like they don't know that the world government considers them a threat that must be removed, but it hasn't yet reached the point where they're called demons. The whole time Professor Clover was silent, but when he saw the confusion and anger of his team, he shook his head and sighed. Since they call us demons, that means they're already done with us. Soon we will see how it was done in the manga. Are you ready for that? Of course, we're ready. Most of the archaeologists, both men and women, answered out loud. How they not be prepared when just a little girl not only saw it but lived and experienced its consequences as well? Don Quixote Homing looked at this scene with a sad sigh. He was a celestial dragon and he knew very well the consequences of excavating history. The world government would not allow anyone researching history to get out unscathed. But although he was saddened by the current sight, he wasn't worried about the safety of his friends. Having someone like Rob in this place meant absolute safety for them. Because of the manga of One Piece, our research on the history and the Old Kingdom has become slow and ineffective. The manga gave us a lot of shocking insights and facts related to the Void Century and the Great Kingdom, so we thought reading the manga was better than researching history. Professor Clover spoke with a calm tone and clear eyes, as the rest of the archaeologists listened to him silently. This era we're living in right now is weird and it's not supposed to be. It's not just weird, but it's more correct to call it a miracle. Ever since I started reading One Piece manga, I've always had some weird ideas. What if our real world is what's in the manga? And the current world we live in is just an illusion? Ha ha ha. Weird, isn't it? Although Professor Clover laughed, the rest of the archaeologists did not laugh but rather listened with shocked expressions on their faces. This is because most of them have had these thoughts at least once. They just didn't talk about it out loud. Well, it doesn't matter what kind of world we live in, the important thing is that we're alive. And we have to continue our task of knowing the true history. In the past, hundreds of years ago, there was a glorious clan working with the Great Kingdom. This clan's job was... Guess what? The eyes of the young archaeologists twinkled with excitement because they had never heard this story before. What shocked them the most was how Professor Clover knew about a clan that was dealing with the Great Kingdom in the forgotten past. What is the job of this glorious clan, Professor? Tell us. Even the former celestial dragon was very curious. This clan's job was the same as what we do. Ha! You mean? Do not tell us. Yes, they took upon themselves the task of searching for history. The Great Kingdom gave them the title, the Knowledge Light Clan, similar to the Great Bell. They were a proud clan, have the will of D. They recorded thousands of years of bygone eras, and contributed so much to the development of the Great Kingdom. They were truly the clan of Knowledge Light. It's amazing. Where did you know that, Professor? Professor Clover sighed as he recalled two familiar faces who were the last members of that glorious clan. He was just a talented young man when they were working in the Tree of Knowledge as great archaeologists. They were among the closest people to him, whom he would never forget. Once upon a time there was a strange couple who had the same name, but they're very kind. They were called Mr. and Miss Castro. They were working here as great archaeologists. At that time I was just a young archaeologist. Under their guidance, I learned many things that still benefit me even now. Did this couple tell you about the Knowledge Light Clan? Yes, they were the last members of the Knowledge Light Clan. Art Palace. Rob cancelled his God perspective ability and a faint smile appeared on his face. He had seen and heard everything Professor Clover had said. Of course, this was one of the reasons why Rob decided to protect this place and those archaeologists. Rob-sama, Mr. Tom and his family have arrived. Suddenly, a luscious blonde maid appeared beside Rob and leaned on his shoulder before whispering seductively. Rob grabbed her by the waist and quickly pulled her into his lap. You're getting more riotous, Stussy, but I like it. He. Tell Tom and his disciples to come to see me. Understood, Master. But before that... The way you introduce CP9 in the manga is so cool, I even got fooled by their acting. It looks like the future generation in the government is very professional, foo-foo. Inside Marigoa, the day that was supposed to be fun for the people of the government, today's volume made it bleak for them. The secrets about world government that the manga revealing it are bothered the atmosphere. which reminded them of how terrifying the manga really is. Equals 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 equals. CP9 member, Bull Mask a fake. CP9 member, Skull Mask, stop this nonsense. Polly, I don't know who the hell you are, but your plan failed. Ha! What a scene. Unfortunately, I don't even know what you're looking for. CP9 member, Bull Mask. Brat. But even though you're just the bait, now that you're involved, we can't let you live. Luffy, I'm stuck. Damn. I'm stuck. NNG. Polly, Straw Hat. Luffy, ha. Ah. You're the guy with the ropes. What happened? Are you okay? You're bleeding. Polly. This is the 3rd floor. I should be the one asking if you're okay. CP9 member, Skull Mask, Straw Hat, Luffy. CP9 member, Bull Mask, did you come here to take the blame for us? Luffy, ah. A mask. It's a mask. Then it's you. You're telling Robin to do something. Give Robin back, you bastards. CP9 member, Skull Mask. Rankyaku. Luffy, what? The wall broke from one kick. Equals 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 equals. Inside the government hall, the 5 elders used to show pleasant facial expressions while reading One Piece, but now, their expressions froze and the air around them trembled. Undoubtedly, these 5 old men were monsters in the skin of a human. Damn it! Son of bitch! The Gorosei with the hat roared angrily. First, Jeppo, Tekai, and now Rankyaku. Does he intend to reveal Rokushiki's 6 techniques to the public? Forget it and look at the following pages. Our people's faces have been revealed. Equals 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 equals. Lucci, what shall we discuss first with you? Iceberg, Wa dash. Lucci, I'm disappointed in you. Iceberg, Lucci. Kaku, it's all your fault. Iceberg, Kaku. Kaku, this is what you get for handing it over, while the government was still requesting it of you nicely. Califa, we really wished to make this town a memory without having to harm you. Iceberg, Califa. Blueno, you have your master's resolve. Iceberg, Blueno. You were all with the government. Lucci, that's right. Concealing ourselves was easy as pie. But I'm so amazed by the depth of your forethought, I'm totally speechless. Kaku Bluano Lucci Califa. Behind the scenes Secret Service directly under the world government. Cipher Pol No. 9. Lucci, the blueprints for the ancient weapon Pluton. Please tell us its whereabouts before there are any more victims. Equals 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 equals. The 5 elders looked at the faces of the CP9 members and didn't recognize any of them. They were obviously young and professional in their work, but unfortunately, they didn't manage to get the blueprints yet from Iceberg. Then, the CP9 members were 2 carpenters, Iceberg's female secretary, and the tavern owner. Whoa, we were tricked by their acting, too. I can predict how readers will react to them without even going into chat rooms. Chapter 283, CP9 Combat Power. West Blue, O'Hara, Art Palace. Equals 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 equals. Lucci, this was 4 years ago. A man entered through the gates of Galila Company and came to see you. Iceberg. Ha! Ha! Lucci, he named himself only once. Califa, I remember as well. Kaku, so do I. Lucci, which means Tom's other disciple, Catty Flam, is still alive. Still in this town. Under the name of Frankie. Iceberg. Kaku, there's no mistaking it. Who'd have thought there was such a relationship between you two? Equals 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 equals. Rob silently looked at his guests who were still reading the manga with great astonishment on their faces. He knew they hadn't finished it yet, so he didn't bother them. Rob-san. Don't tell me. Is all of this in this book real? Tom stared in shock at the scene where Lucci and the rest of CP9 were able to confirm the fact that Frankie is Catty Flam. Why do you assume that, Tom? That's because what we've seen so far has gone far beyond common sense. That's not just a book anymore, rather it's a whole new world. Rob smiled upon hearing that from the fishman before he said, "Art is what allows us to transcend what you called the common sense. Anything can be achieved with art. There is no limit to the imagination that exists in art." The whole time, 13-year-old Iceberg and 9-year-old Catty Flam looked at Rob in awe. This was the man who created One Piece. The man who made them famous and who is arguably controlling their destiny now. Kokoro didn't say anything. She kept her calm even though she wanted to ask why she looked so ugly in the manga as an old woman. Now, she looked like a mature woman in her 40s, although she had lost her divine beauty when she was in her 20s, she was not that ugly. Her look in the manga gave her such trauma that she didn't want to remember it or mention it in front of Tom. "Since you're here, I suppose you know why, right?" "Yeah, I still haven't thanked you for getting me out of trouble." "There's no need to apologize, I was the one who got you into trouble, so I must get you out of it." Before he got up to apologize, Rob stopped him. "The world government is surrounding Water 7 from all sides. Don't worry, they won't do anything foolish against your city because it has an art store. Even if they try to do something, they won't succeed. They want to catch you for the blueprints." When hearing about the blueprints again, Tom gets very confused. Just how does Rob know about it since he's the only one who knows? He didn't remember telling anyone about it. Even the former Fishman Island king who had secured the blueprints didn't know what exactly they were because he hadn't taken a single look at them before. "I told you a moment ago that there is no limit to imagination. You can explain why I know about the blueprints of the ancient weapon with that." "Don't get confused again. I don't read minds, but I can read your expression." This time Tom felt the urge to get out of here and surrender himself to the world government. Holy Land, Marigoa. Equals 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 equals. Kaku, Shurgon. Zoro, Arg. Kaku, we don't need bullets to pierce human flesh. Lucci, go, Nico Robin. Luffy. Guh. Chopper, Robin. Nami, Luffy was caught so easily. Luffy. Zoro. What? What's with their strength? Polly, who the hell are you? Lucci. Our surroundings have changed. We, of the CP9, have been prepared to give our lives for the government. We've trained our bodies to great extremes since we were young. Thus, we've gained 6 superhuman strengths. Roku Shiki. I think it has finally sunk into your hearts. Us 4 are assigned by the government to extreme missions. And you lowly pirates can see the huge difference in our combat power. Equals 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 equals. This young man, Lucci, is really so cool. The bald Gorosei praised Lucci because he could say he was the leader of this group of talented young guys. Do we have any kid in training with his specifications? I don't think so. He looks very young. But I'm sure he was already born somewhere in this world and might be in his 3rd or 4th year now. Those guys who have mastered the 6 strengths to this level are already extremely talented. The Straw Hats looked like children in front of them. The prestige of Luffy and his comrades has completely collapsed. This was the only moment in this day when the 5 elders really enjoyed and laughed a little. It could be said that revealing their filthy secrets in the name of justice had stimulated their anger a lot, but it had not yet reached the point where they were going crazy. It seemed that Rob wasn't quite an idiot and was making the world government a joke. By having CP9 defeat Luffy and Zoro easily, it could be said that the prestige of the world government's forces would skyrocket. This at least made the 5 elders' frustration drop a bit. But this does not mean quelling their anger completely. The moment Commander-in-Chief Kong arrived, they were able to vent a few of their frustrations by shouting at him. Marineford. Why are you angry at this petty thing and not when Shiki crushed an entire naval base? Sengoku looked at his old partner with dissatisfaction on his face. These CP9 are all masters of Rokushiki. Do you really think your little grandson is capable of defeating this level? Garp pressed the armrest until it broke. He was very angry at what he had seen so far. This foolish grandson. How could he lose to another kid? For Garp, Lucci was just a little kid, and his grandson losing to someone who doesn't seem to master any haki is a disgrace. Tsuru shook her head and didn't comment, knowing that saying anything to the angry Garp wouldn't make any sense. Sengoku, just let him get as angry as he wants, as if he doesn't know that his grandson will eventually come out victorious somehow. It seemed as though Tsuru's words made their way into Garp's subconscious, whose expression relaxed when he remembered that his grandson was the protagonist. Sengoku was shocked that Garp's expression changed so easily because of Tsuru's words. Nico no Mi, model, leopard? He's a Zoan user, too. This is a bit surprising. He's really strong with Rokushiki, and now, he has a strong devil fruit. Looks like he's going to be the main opponent. Luffy's got a tough enemy. Sigh, they were really defeated. Don't worry, Garp. It's only their first encounter. I think Luffy and his partner's going to try to get Robin back so they'll fight again. Tsuru was sure of that. Chapter 284, Cloboterman. Grand Line, Navarone, G8 Base. This place that has changed since its appearance in the manga has become a great milestone for the Navy, join it become coveted for many Marines around the world. The world government itself invested a lot of resources to strengthen the Navarone defenses and transferred a lot of strong people here. Navarone was turned into a truly impregnable fortress this time. Mekao was one of the people who was transferred from Marineford to Navarone with his small family. After his transfer to Navarone, he was given the grade of Mechanics Department Captain due to his great experience in repairing ships and also his great fame in the manga. 4 days after the volume was published, a small Navy delivery ship arrived at Navarone. Through these delivery ships, the headquarters sends the necessities to the branches, but in 3 years these small delivery ships have become the best that can be seen on the horizon for the Marines in the branches. After all, manga books are one of those things that are sent by delivery ships, too. Mekao got his new volume and started reading the manga with an excited expression. After all, this arc was all about his profession: shipbuilding and ship repair. He had been to Water 7 many times in the past so that he would realize how amazing the shipbuilders there. He wanted to see how well in shipbuilding they would be in the future. When he saw the sea train, he remained frozen for 5 minutes in shock. He couldn't help but sigh at how professional the Fishman Tom, the best ship's mechanic in Water 7 or perhaps the entire world. But he felt sad about Going Mary's condition. Since it was checked on by his future version when it arrived at Navarone, he realized that it probably wouldn't sail for long. But when this was confirmed in this arc, he felt sad. It was really a Cloboterman. As expected, even Frankie had heard of this miraculous existence. Equals 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 equals. Frankie, I'm saying that I'll help you dismantle that ship. Usopp, shut up. Moses/Kiwi, bro. Usopp, I'm not gonna let you do it. Going Mary is my ship. Frankie, no. It's not a ship anymore. Usopp, What? Frankie, I asked you earlier. What are you gonna do once you fix this ship? If you were gonna throw your life away along with the ship, then I couldn't have cared less. But you said that you wanted to get back to your home in East Blue. That's why I'm stopping you, kid. This ship ain't gonna even get to the next island. I will carry you from this land to that land. Ships are born with that wish in mind. When a ship can no longer carry people to the next land. Usopp. Ah. No. Stop. Frankie, it's not a ship anymore. Usopp, stop. Mozu/Kiwi, bro. Usopp, you bastard. Get away from the ship. Frankie, nguh. You bastard. If you don't understand, then you'd better see it for yourself. Usopp. He. I'm sorry, Mary. Sniff. I'll fix you. In a minute. I'll fix you. Again and again. Frankie, hey, cut it out already, long nose. You saw the bottom of the ship, right? The keel is broken, the outside plates are misaligned, and the ribs are in pieces. It could collapse with each wave that hits it. Do you think that the repairs of some amateur would? Usopp, shut up already. I don't want you telling me that. I'll kick your ass if don't shut up, you hooligan bastard. Frankie, what did you say? Equals 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 equals. East Blue, Syrup Town. Inside the art store. The atmosphere was kind of depressing. After all, 2 crew members from their village had left the crew, and that meant they lost the honor of being manga protagonists and might never see them again. The first was Going Merry, the ship that the Straw Hat Pirates considered a member of their crew, and which everyone in this volume knew was no different from a living creature either. After all, inanimate objects cannot repair a ship and speak. The second was Usopp, who separated from the crew of his own free will. He even fought against his captain in a battle over the right to own the ship. Most readers thought Usopp would return to the crew, and even the most optimistic thought the crew would find a way to fix the Going Merry and get it to set sail again. After all, nothing is impossible in a world filled with the omnipresent paranormal. But some pessimists believed that Usopp would not return to the crew, and that Merry would die, too. The two sides, with opposing opinions, got into oral arguments and even got into a fistfight outside the art store in the first days after the volume was updated. But the hunters and the store goddesses always intervened to resolve any dispute that crossed the line. Yasup. Do you understand our son's current feelings? Banshina looked at her husband, who was reading manga and drinking a bottle of Heineken with complicated expressions. He wanted to damn the author, who's his leader, for torturing his son in the manga, but when he remembered the quality of the drink in his hand, which also the author was selling, he only damned him internally. Suddenly, his wife Banshina came back from serving customers and asked him in a low voice. Of course, I understand. He's depressed and sad, feels lonely and self-blame, and feels like he can't do anything to save Mary. Look, he's starting to admit what he's been hiding all along. What he saw that night at Sky Island, what we also saw, was not a dream. Banshina was already holding her manga, so she read what her husband had already pointed out. This Frankie wasn't a bad guy after all. Looks like we've misjudged this guy, otherwise, Usopp wouldn't have opened his eyes. I hope everything goes back to how it was with Luffy and the others. After saying that, she went back to reading the manga with stressful expressions. What she read next made her feel very sad about the ship, too. The whole time she was unaware that such a miraculous phenomenon existed in this world. Phlebotoman, or the ship's spirit. Not only her, but this chapter, in particular, has turned the logic of a lot of the world's people upside down. It was precisely this chapter that was the first stage of the Great Change, but the second stage would be the Bullet of Mercy, which would usher in a new era that which pirates and marines alike would treat their ships with utmost love and care. Equals 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 equals. Usopp, I knew. All of that. I knew that going Mary could not travel anymore. I actually knew all of that. When I heard the results of the evaluation, I decided that it wasn't just my imagination back then. I thought it was a dream at first. I didn't think there could be such a thing, but Mozu/Kiwi? Frankie. Usopp, one night. I heard the sounds of hammering from the empty ship. The fog was thick, but someone was there. I never found out who, but the next day, the ship was repaired in a very poor fashion. Flashback. Luffy, Usopp, it's not the flying model anymore. Usopp, how did the person who fixed the ship know Going Mary's original shape? Usopp, it was all so strange, but I remember this one phrase. I don't know if it's just my imagination or maybe he did say it. Going Mary, it's alright. I'll carry all of you. For a little while longer. Usopp. I know it sounds so freaking stupid. But I think that it was the incarnation of Going Mary. Frankie. Usopp, the ship was probably already at its limit. And wanted to warn us about it. You probably think I'm crazy. I don't care if you don't believe me. Frankie, no need for that. He looked like a sailor, holding a hammer, didn't he? Usopp, huh? How? Did you know that? Frankie, cause, kid, you probably saw a Clobotterman. Equals 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 equals. In Whole Cake Shadow, Whole Cake Island. Lean's eyes widened as she read about what a Clobotterman is. What in this world has she not heard about? What strange soul has she not seen in this world since she ate the soul fruit? So why she hasn't heard about Clobotterman before? Montdior. Come here. Charlotte Montdior shuddered at his mother's loud voice. He quickly thought about what the hell he had done to make his mother angry, but he couldn't remember anything bad he had done recently. Ah. Maybe she has known about me when I temporarily escaped from my duty by deceiving little sister Brûlée about taking me off the island that day? Montdior did not stop and ran toward downtown. Here I am, Mama. Montdior. Bring out the Book of Spirits in which we record all the souls discovered so far. Ah. Here, Mama. He sighed in relief because it wasn't what he thought and summoned a specific book using his book fruit ability. What do you want me to look for, Mama? Find Clobotterman. The ship spirit. Without even searching, all the contents of the spirits book appeared in his mind, and he searched for the ship spirit among the many spirits that consist mostly of food spirits. But he found nothing about Clobotterman. Mama. I didn't find it. I don't think ships have souls, too. But you can make a ship spirit with your ability, but there's no original ship spirit in this world. Huh? So do you think Rob is saying nonsense in this chapter? Lin points to the manga page where Frankie talks about Clobotterman and carefully explains what he understands about it. Ah. This is the first time I've heard of this Clobotterman, Mama. But since the only way to create such a soul is to take good care of the ship, it's no wonder we haven't heard of one before. We don't take care of our ships like the Straw Hats did, Mama. An expression of shock appeared on her pretty face at this moment. How? Just how did she not think of that before? Chapter 285, The Legendary Shipwright. Equals 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 equals. Blueno, a nameplate. Cutty Flame. Iceberg. Tom. Frankie, don't touch it. It's impolite. To go tromping through other people's memories? This is the place where I grew up, the shipbuilding company. Tom's workers. The warehouse is a wreck, but the world's best shipbuilder lived here. equals 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 equals. So the old and ruined headquarters under the bridge, which is my secret base, is our current company headquarters? Haizajima. Little Frankie shouted in shock. NMA. What the hell is going to happen in the future? Until our headquarters are turned into this state? And why? Why would Tom-san will die? Iceberg couldn't calm down either. Rob looked at the two terrified kids silently. He didn't want to answer them, because they would find out the answers to their questions in the next volume anyway. Tom, why don't you have any reaction to knowing the truth about your death in the manga? Or do you were waiting for this day, when you decided to build the captain's ship? Rob felt a little surprised by the old fishman's reaction. His steadfastness is truly commendable. Before Rob asked him, Tom was looking at the picture in the manga with a happy expression. Ta ha ha ha. Ta ha ha ha. Tom-san, you laugh too much. Kokoro scolded him with a happy smile. Although Tom doesn't remember taking a picture like this before, he can tell that the time to take it will come a few years from now, when the two kids will be growing a little more. It was a group picture of him with both hands resting on the shoulders of his two disciples Cutty Flam and Iceberg, who were in a fistfight position, while his frog Yokozuna appears laughing behind him on his right side and has left his beautiful secretary openly and his wife secretly, Kokoro. What made him smile was the wonderfulness of the group picture. He was not the only one who liked the picture, but Kokoro, the little frog, and the two little disciples liked it a lot, too. This is because from their looks in the picture they looked only slightly older than their current age, and more importantly, they looked too happy. Maybe only 4 or 5 years older than their current age. Ta ha ha ha. To answer your question, maybe it's because I realize the fact that I'm going to die one day, so it doesn't bother me. I didn't and won't regret building that ship. Oro Jackson is my pride and the best ship I've ever made. Plus the fact that I only died 8 years before the start of the manga. That is a lot of years to live already, because from what I've realized so far, the plot will start about 24 or 25 years from now, right? That's great then. A big smile appeared on Rob's face. The manga didn't affect this wonderful man at all, which made Rob very happy. Regarding the plot, it's 25 years and 8 months away from our time exactly, Rob said with a smile. He was the most aware of the plot and its exact time in this world. Well, maybe there's no longer a plot to talk about in the first place, and maybe some of the story's protagonists and secondary characters will not be born because of his direct intervention, but through his daughter, Robin, and Frankie in front of him, he can tell the exact time between when the manga's events will start and the current time. Ta ha ha ha. So I'm not too far from the exact time. I still have 18 years to live, right? That's too much already. Ha 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 ha. Tom-san, your answer is really convincing. I have nothing to say. No, we're begging you, Rob-san. Don't let our teacher die. Those people in the art store were staring at him with frightened looks when they heard about Pluton's blueprints. The Navy people also wanted to catch Tom-san. Iceberg and Frankie wanted to bow to Rob, but the latter stopped them. He definitely won't live until that time if you don't protect him. Please. For the first time, Rob saw the terror in the eyes of the two young kids. Don't worry, your teacher will live much more than just 18 years. Under my protection, no one will dare to harm you all. I'm leaving now, consider yourselves at home. Saying this, Rob left the guest hall and went to little Robin's room. He longed for his little treasure. In Wetter 7, which was constantly surrounded by the Navy and government forces, residents and carpenters were still mired in the events of the new volume. What they read in the volume completely overturned their sense of the world. The manga of One Piece has repeatedly shocked them in the past. It was the biggest shock in the Sky Island arc, but the shock they felt in this arc was no less than that for the people of Water 7, because the hero of this arc was no one but the man who had been wronged by the world government just because he built a ship. What they saw in the manga was completely different and very familiar with their current reality. Their beautiful water city is portrayed in the manga more than wonderful, but the government's intervention has certainly muddied the happy atmosphere. But what can they do? They had a fearsome element hidden in this city that had summoned the attention of the world government. The blueprints of the ancient weapon, Pluton. And it was in the hands of the most skilled shipwright in the world. The legendary shipwright. Equals 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 equals. Flashback. Water City / Water 7, 22 years ago. Frankie, 12 years old, shut up. It's none of your business, Bakaberg. These are my important warships. It's a battle, Frankie. Iceberg, 16 years old, I don't care what the heck it is, just throw it all away before someone gets hurt. What do you care what's lying around here? This is the scrapyard island. Frankie, just you watch, I'm gonna build a new warship that can win against a Sea King. Iceberg, NMA. Like heck, you could win. There are a bunch of Sea Kings the size of islands. Why don't you get eaten or something? Tom, yo. If you're a Ma-en, do it with a Don. Tom, okay. Ta-ha-ha. Launching complete. I made a good ship. Built with a Don. Right, Yokozuna? Yokozuna, Jero Jero. Tom's pet Yokozuna, Sumo Frog. Tom, I'll finish up tomorrow. Shipbuilding company, Tom's workers president, Tom, Golden Puffer Merman. Frankie, you're not gonna sleep, Tom-san? What are you drawing? Tom. Oh. This is the island's hope. Frankie? Tom, I think Water 7 can be revived with this thing. Iceberg. The judicature ship is here. What's a judicature ship? It's a moving court. Who did it come to try? Marine, make way. Iceberg, hey, wait. What did Tom-san do? Frankie, give back our Tom-san. Tom, it's okay, don't worry about it. Ta-ha. H. Navy officer, you're here now. It was only a matter of time. It's a worldly issue. Of course. For the criminal act of building the Oro Jackson. The ship of the world-renowned villain, Gold Roger. Shipwright Tom will be accompanied to Eni's lobby where he will be executed. Equals 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 equals. Oh, holy craps. Why would they execute Tom-san? This is unacceptable. It's impossible for us to allow this. I didn't know that the Pirate King's ship was built by Tom-san. This is big news, look at the chat rooms. Things are lively there. You idiot. This is what happened in the manga. It can't be real. You fool. Look around you. The Marines everywhere looking for Tom-san. This isn't a fantasy anymore. It's a truth. Far away in the New World, aboard the ship built by the legendary shipwright Oro Jackson. Roger. Looks like Tom got into trouble because of us. While reading the manga and drinking sake, Rayleigh's smiling expression turned to an annoyed one. The same with the rest of the crew members. Don't worry, he's now a member of Rob's company who won't let him get hurt. The good he done by building our ship is as big as the ocean, I won't let him or his disciples hurt. Roger remembered the day he asked Tom to build a ship that could sail, but he made to him the best ship in the world that could sail. He couldn't hide the big smile on his face. Chapter 286, The End of the Human's Tragedy at the Hands of the Fishman. But the end of the Fishman at the hands of the humans. Equals 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 equals. Citizen 1, suicide. Citizen 2, it's the president of the 4th Shipbuilding Company. I think it's due to the accident last month. There are no materials, so they sent their own ship to get wood and so died at sea. Their dock is closed, too. Citizen 3, this is horrible. This island's finished. A store after store is closing down. The land's sinking, too. I can't even support myself. What weak creatures we humans are. Waitress, you can't go outside, the pirates are in the streets. Her child, WAAAAH. Citizen 4, hey. Did you hear about the sea train? Citizen 5. Tom's workers finished building the sea train. Citizen 6, does it really run? This weird ship. Citizen 7, but it's made by a criminal, it's dangerous. Citizen 8, I'm getting on. Citizen 9, me too. Citizen 10, Tom, come out. Aren't you going to explain? Kokoro, we're departing. Get on. This story happened 12 years ago. Citizen 11, it moved. The paddle. It's grasped to the tracks. This was the first time. When the sea train. Puffing Tom, carrying the troubled people. Away from the disused and closed off town, crossed the sea. Equals 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 equals. Just a year ago, the condition of Water City was similar to what appeared in this volume of the manga. Extremely low resources. There were residents feel the constant fear of sinking with their city. Emotional anxiety. Frequent suicides of shipbuilders owners due to the sinking of their ships transporting wood and precious resources from one of the nearby islands. What they saw in the manga reminded these poor residents and businessmen of how hard life was in this place in the old days. This was a world that Rob never lived in. A world was devoid of his existence and his achievements. A world in which these people continued to live in constant fear. Any logically thinking manga reader can easily deduce this. That's because a year ago, the global cruise company for the first time arrived here with their big and powerful ships. They announced the establishment of a station in the Water City which made these residents weep with joy. With the arrival of this great company owned by Rob, if you have the money you can travel to mil places in the world. If you have the money you can send the resources or receive them from anywhere in the world in the shortest possible time. The company brought powerful ships protected by the strongest hunters, no pirates could threaten their safety, no strong waves could overcome them, and no sea kings could disturb them, too. With that, the lives of Water City's residents quickly changed for the better. Of course, the best shipwright and his disciples lived these events as well. Tom wasn't a poor person like most Water 7 residents a year ago. His skill in shipbuilding allowed him to build a great ship out of just junk. That was why his headquarters was in the scrap station under the bridge, but in fact, he was a man who had a lot of wealth and lands in Water 7, to the point that many people were aware of this and were also envious him, but because of his enormous strength as a fishman, no one could try to take anything from him. Among the lands he owned was the future Galila Company area that he gave to Rob to set up an art store. The entry of the global cruise company relieved Tom's heavy load of trying to improve the Water City situation, so he no longer thought extensively about the blueprints to build a sea train. Half a year ago, the legendary art store appeared which made Water City become a regional pole attracting tourists from all over. Thus, the skills of the carpenters were discovered there, their reputation rise and the demand for them rise, too. With that, it can be said that what Rob brought them was much more than just solving the transportation problem. But what came a few months ago completely solved the transportation problem and more. The legendary skyport that even the legendary shipwright prostrated in front of its greatness. Once you enter the transport room, the humans and also their ships can be teleported towards a specific destination, whether to the heights of the sky or the depths of the sea. There is no place that the legendary skyport cannot transport you to instantly, just by pay the right price. With this, will Tom keep thinking about the sea train? Of course, not. After Rob left the guest hall, Tom looked back and muttered words only he could hear. What a great and mysterious man. After that, Tom and his group continued to read the volume with excited expressions. After seeing Tom's court by the Eni's lobby judge, their expressions were troubled, but seeing how Tom resolved his situation, they laughed with pleasure. Ta ha ha ha. NMA. The teacher is really cool. Even in the manga, you are still so sassy. Unlike a certain kid, even at the age of 12, he's still a fool trying to make a useless battleship. What did you say, Bakaberg? I said what you heard exactly. Hey! Don't fight here. We are Mr. Rob's guests. When they heard the name of the formidable man in their hearts from Kokoro's mouth, their bodies instinctively stopped. If there is one person they respect and fear in this world, it is only Rob. There is only one person they respect and love in this world, and that is their teacher, of course. But there is also one person they respect and fear in equal measure. On the side, Stussy laughed seeing this scene. Rob had tasked her with protecting them from the shadows, so they couldn't see her. When they saw the state of Water 7 without the Sea Train or Global Cruise Company, the group was sad, but the appearance of the Sea Train for the first time gave them a strange goosebump. They were so excited. They made history in the manga. If that's what happened in the manga, they can certainly do it again in reality too. They were completely confident in their teacher's ability to definitely achieve this. Most importantly, they wanted to experience the feeling they had when they saw the first Sea Train in the manga and see it in real life. Tom-san. Let's make a sea train. Let's make a sea train. Cutty Flam neither bothered to bring up the subject of his parents, who Tom said in the manga were probably pirates, but he was more interested in the sea train. Regarding Frankie's real parents, Tom knows that they weren't pirates. They died when he was a little child, and that Tom took care of Frankie since he was too young, so he didn't know why his manga version was assuming that Frankie's parents were pirates. He remembered that scene where Frankie asks him to include him in his workshop. That was when Frankie was only 7 years old. Before, Tom had taken care of him, but he had not yet included him in Tom's workers. He didn't even get the title Frankie from Iceberg yet. The first time they heard it from the manga, so they didn't recognize him from Frankie's name when he was first mentioned in the manga. Ta ha ha. People's life in Water 7, it's very good now, so they don't need the sea train. But let's make it up to experience the feeling of happiness we feel right now. Yeah. ×2. Hello, Tom-san. At this moment, a very beautiful woman, with red hair and a cute maid outfit appeared in the hall. She glanced to the hall side and blinked in annoyance, but did not say anything and kept a kind smile on her face. Stussy, who was well hidden, was frightened when Belmere noticed her. Tom stood up with a sad smile on his face when he saw Belmere. Yo, little miss, your tragic story in the manga is caused by a scum of my race. Do you hate the fishman race for that? No, I came to salute a great fishman who could end the suffering of so many human people. But you also suffered from the oppression of humans. I'm the one who needs to ask you. Do you hate the human race for their oppression of you, Tom-san? Water 7. If Tom and his group felt only happy, the people of Water 7 felt a complex emotion between sadness, joy, and self-blame. When they saw the flashback of a great character like Tom, who sacrificed 10 years of his life to build a sea train and eventually was plotted and executed by the scum Spandam, they felt the need to crush the Marines they wandered beside them. How could a world government do such a heinous act? How can they kill a great man like Tom in cold blood? It was not only the residents of Water 7 but throughout the world, many voices were rejecting the birth of someone like Spandam in this world. Little did anyone know that after only a month everyone in the world would know that Spandam was actually born, and he's at 14 years old and a civil government servant. After Eni's lobby arc, Spandam and his father will become deadly enemies of everyone in the world. Chapter 287, Let me tell you a beautiful story. Spandam, hello. Is that you? Tom/Iceberg. Spandam, the shipwright, Mr. Tom. It was hard locating you. Excuse me, but I'd like to have a word with you. Wah. Cipher Pole No. 5 Supervisor Spandam. I'm Spandam of Cipher Pole number 5. Government's members, Spandam-san. Frankie, oh. Sorry. I don't know who are you, but I kinda hit you with the cannon. And N. Super. I defeated a sea king. Equals 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 equals. Holy Land, Marigoa. The World Government Building, Cipher Poll Number 5 Section. I remember very well that you were the first person of our people to discover the beginning of the New Age. On that day, 3 years ago, you called me and told me about the appearance of a strange store selling some books. Isn't it, Flint? The CP5 chief, Spandine, looked at his son who was reading manga chapters with an excited expression. But when he arrived at a certain scene, his expression got annoyed. Flint he's talking to was the CP5 member who narrowly escaped death at the hands of Rob 3 years ago when he was the first person to leak his information to the world government. Of course, Rob hasn't forgotten him until this moment. Yes. Boss. Don't speak too loudly, you idiot. Don't disturb my son. Ah. Sorry, boss. Spandam. My son, you appeared in the manga. You even are in a high position like supervisor of CP5. You'll become a great man. Even someone like Sky Sword admits you. The purple-haired kid looked at his father with a big smile on his face. He also didn't think that he would get the honor of appearing in the manga. But when he thought about his intense ambition for power, he didn't find appearing in the manga much of a surprise. But the hell! Why was his first appearance destroyed by this idiot cyborg? He even wants to curse this Bakanki out loud. Flint, you can come back now. Don't forget, from now on you'll be my son's bodyguard. So he really gave the blueprints to his disciples. This bastard Tom. How can he give the blueprints of an ancient weapon to a naughty kid like Frankie? Does he want to destroy the world? After a few minutes, father and son laughter rose from the office. That's so evil from you, my son. You were the one who got Tom executed then. Cha-ha-ha-ha-ha. I didn't expect that the person who would be tasked by the Gora CI with retrieving the blueprint of the ancient weapon would be you. Wahahaha. Now, you know how good your son is, right? Ohara, Art Palace. That young man only wanted to save his teacher from oppression. Even though he was a rioter and continued to build extremely dangerous battleships, he loved and respected his teacher too much. The last thing he wanted was to hurt his teacher. But the rulers of the world had another opinion. Their subordinate had implicated the young man's teacher in the crime of harming the Shahausen by using the battleships he had made with his own hands. This pissed him off so much that he couldn't bear it and attacked the one who framed his teacher and smashed his face. The things did not finish here, but he also blocked the path of the sea train with his small body in order to stop them from taking his teacher away. He really showed great devotion and love to his teacher who was not even a human. In the moment of life and death when he was hit by the sea train, he confessed his dream. He dreamed of making a dream ship that would sail across oceans proudly until the end of the world. This accident shattered his body and he almost died. But unfortunately, he was unable to save his teacher from death. Rob looked at his crying little daughter as she listened to the story of the world's best mechanics past. Why? Why he couldn't save his teacher after all this? Wouldn't he fulfill his dream like this? Isn't that unfair, Dad? There is no justice in this world, my daughter. The strong people make justice. The people who have power make justice. Each has his own justice. Do you understand what I mean? Little Robin wiped her tears with her little hands and nodded with a sad face. I understand. Dad. Now, tell me the story of Nico Robin. Nico Robin is the cutest creature in the world. Ha 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 ha. Dad praises my cuteness again. No, your dad is only telling the truth. If Frankie is the best mechanic in the world, so Nico Robin is the cutest creature in the world. But Dad, I've heard the manga readers say that Nico Robin is very dangerous and she's a traitor. How did you hear that? Weren't you at home the whole time? I had the feeling that I could hear voices far from me. When I tried it I found I could hear a lot of voices. Rob's brow quivered when he heard this. He realized he had underestimated his monstrous child's talent. She awakened her observation hockey at such a young age. Rob took his little treasure in his arms and placed her on his shoulders as he walked out of the room. Don't trust in every voice you hear from now on, you should trust only your father's voice. Okay? Yay. I'll only trust my father's voice. Good, now, I'll tell you a beautiful story. When Nico Robin was just born, the moon in the sky smiled, and the far stars glowed brighter, all to welcome the cutest being in the world. So cute to that point that the world's wicked inhabitants envy her and chased her since she was a child. Rob continued to tell his own story about the cutest being in the world while Robin listened with a happy and excited expression. Equals 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 equals. Frankie, stop, SEA train. Flashback. Tom, I see. You were abandoned, huh? What a piece of work. Frankie, hey. You laugh too much. Tom, okay? Come live with me at dawn. Frankie, Tom-san. I don't want to make ships anymore. I can't love a ship that hurt so many of my important people. But Tom-san. My goal is still you. I want you to come back and teach me some more. I want to make a dream ship someday. A dream ship that will proudly ride over the unknown waves at the end of the world. Equals 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 equals. In the guest hall, Tom stopped his raucous laughter when he got to this point. He couldn't hold back his emotions and really cried. This scene was what affected him the most. He hugged Cutty Flam, who was also crying, and patted his back. Kid, don't do something crazy like this. Please don't do something crazy like this when you grow up. Belmir, Kokoro, Stussy, and Iceberg saw this interaction and sighed sadly, too. This will surely take a devastating blow to the world government's reputation this time. Stussy thought silently. Chapter 288, I am a bastard with conscience. Fishman Island. Inside the art store. Tavern, Enel, Duffy, and Rosinante, from now on your task will be to protect Tom and his family. That means you'll be living here in Fishman Island for some time. Is there any problem? Rob looked at the famous trio for being the most successful group of hunters in the world, kids class, and said softly. The trio nodded obediently. After all, the boss trusted them enough to leave the task of protection to them. Sure. Teacher, leave it to us. Rosinante said with enthusiastic expressions. Since when did they not get a task from the boss? Who among the hunters doesn't know that the boss's tasks are rich in rewards? Who are these kids going to protect? I'm strong enough to protect myself. And super. Shut up, you're the kid here, Frankie. Iceberg hit the back of his head with a slap. Ha! Kid, even your future version, Cyborg Frankie, I can slice him without eye moving and you have the guts to say you're strong? Doflamingo looked at the kid Frankie, who didn't step back though. Hey, you have guts. Your guts are really commendable. Duffy smiled as his eyes under the glasses formed into a crescent moon. Enough, Duffy. Your task is to protect him, not scare him. Rob gave him a cold glow that made Duffy sweat profusely. I was just kidding around with him, teacher. Welcome back home again, Tom-san. This island needs you more than the humans' island. Rob knew who said that, so he didn't bother turning around. Ta ha ha. Is that you, Susan? It's been a long time. Susan-chan. You're getting prettier. Kokoro hugged Susan's fin with a gentle smile on her face. Hee hee, Kokoro-san, you're still pretty as you used to be. Frankie and Iceberg's expressions shook when they heard Susan's praise that sounded genuine. Was she really meant what she was saying? Yo, Madam Susan. You seem to have taken good care of my art store. Where is little Shirley? That annoying child is playing outside. About the store, it's my store now, it has nothing to do with you, or do you have an objection? By the way, these cigarettes you're selling are really cool. Much better than regular tobacco. Susan was a first-class smoker. Okay, say those words straight to me later. No one could notice the faint redness that appeared on her white skin after hearing this from Rob. Inside his personal section in the art store Fishman Island.
Why did you draw an unfair destiny for Tom-san? Are you trying to induce human compassion for our race with that?
If what I saw in the chat rooms is real, then you have succeeded. No, you passed the full mark. Susan seemed a little annoyed as she asked, but still spoke frankly and straightforwardly with Rob, who naturally preferred this. After all, she knew Rob well. I'm not trying to induce anything, I've only drawn what I should draw. You see, even a person with a bad destiny laughs happily with his disciples without caring about it.
Tom-san is a very kind person, he might not care, but that doesn't mean the rest of the fishmen don't.
Fisher Tiger was looking for you the past days, he obviously wanted to talk to you about the same thing.
But since you brought Tom safely back here, I suppose he won't bother you.
I know what I'm doing, I don't care about other people's reactions as much as I care about the person affected by what I draw. Since I'm the one who drew his destiny and his actions in the manga, it's my responsibility to be aware of everything that might happen to him. Susan smiled upon hearing that. Who would have thought that the strongest man in the world would have such a sense of responsibility? This made her yearn for him even more. Her huge body leaned forward and her weight fell on him. Rob felt provoked, so he clapped his hands a little. A golden light surrounded her huge body and reduced it to the size of a small shark in his hands.
You're naughty as usual, Madam Susan. What do you think of a little punishment?
The frustration appeared on her pretty face. She had completely forgotten that he could do such a cheap trick in his store.
Am I not worthy of you? Why did you accept little sister Otoheim and not accept me yet?
Rob had never seen her so frustrated. He swears he's seen a small tear form at the sight of her sharp eye. Rob snapped 2 fingers and her body grew to the same size as him. I have no problem getting an extra wife, especially if she really loves me, but you have to get Alvia's approval and the rest of them.
That's the right I gave up to them in exchange for them all.
Although I am a bastard who loves beautiful women, I am a bastard with a conscience.
BFT. Ha 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 ha.
Ryugu Palace. Neptune was so sad recently. Seeing a member of his race die at the hands of humans made him remember how inerasable hatred towards humans was.
You made a sea train for them, solved their economic and social problems for them, saved them from sinking.
After all that good from you, they killed you in cold blood, and the people of Water 7 didn't even say a word of thanks.
Sigh.
These humans don't deserve what you did for them, Jamon. I didn't do it, I didn't do anything, it was all done by my manga version. I haven't done anything yet, don't lose sight of this point, guys.
You're the king, don't you realize it? That I didn't do anything?
Tom was really confused. All the way up here everyone he met looked at him with sympathy and sadness, as if what he went through in the manga really happened to him. But he knows that his current life has absolutely nothing to do with what he saw in the manga. Neptune was surprised by Tom's sudden eruption, reminding him of the scene of him going berserk in the manga when he punched Spandam in the face. He felt tense. It was the first week after the events of the volume, so Neptune didn't know why Tom's mood had turned so bad. Little did he know that he got so many sympathetic looks at O'Hara, and here it escalated to the point that many merfolks and fishmen old and young hugged and cried with him. Even an old fishman like Tom was confused by his current situation. He realized that his story in the manga was so touching and so wonderful that it could be described as epic, but that doesn't mean that he is the same person who left that legendary life experience even after his death. There is no doubt that he is currently the same legendary shipmaker who appeared in the manga. He can confidently say that he can make a sea train too, given all the amazing technology he learned from the Pluton blueprints.
But that doesn't mean he's the same person who suffered injustice and died in the manga. The hell?
Even his little brother Den looked at him with sadness and sympathy before telling him to be strong. No, Tom, we know that you're not the one who died in the manga, you're still with us, and that's reason enough to celebrate, Jamon.
Then why is everyone showing sympathy for me, Don? It's because they believe in destiny.
It's hard to overcome the destiny of death, Tom. Your destiny has been watched and sympathized with by millions of people.
Everyone is certain that you will die. A little fortune teller recently appeared in the art store. It's Susan's daughter, Shirley. She predicted your death. Chapter 289, My dad told me that Nico Robin is an angel.
In the end, even if the ancient beast that can destroy the world is resurrected, Nico Robin still chooses the safety of her 6 companions over her freedom.
Nico Robin is cool. Isn't it, Mama?
The stars appeared in little Robin's eyes as she recounted the tale her father told her to her mother for the 1000th time.
Of course, she's cool. Hee hee, so it turns out that she wasn't a traitor, right?
Nico Alvia smiles sweetly as she sees how excited her little daughter was as she recounted the tale of the cutest creature in the world.
Of course. Even the best cook in the world believed in her because he doesn't believe women's lies. Although this guy is a bit perverted, he is very reliable, that's what my dad said. Thanks to his intervention, they were able to save her from the hands of bad guys who had envied her since she was a child. Ha ha ha. This story is fun. Mama. Dad told me that Nico Robin is a guardian angel. A guardian angel is a cute being who secretly protects his friends. Mama.
I want to be the cute angel who protects you, Dad, and all the people I love, like Nico Robin. Alvia hugged Robin happily as she laughed happily. This was one of her happiest moments.
Of course, my sweet daughter is indeed an angel. Alvia's smile widened as she recalled a certain scene from the manga. Equals 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 equals. Robin, if I hadn't agreed, we would get the Buster call. When I heard Akiji's name, I gave up. The reason I was able to run from any situation in the last 20 years was because I had nothing to protect. I was able to use people as shields. But right now, I can't do that. They saved me when I'd thrown away my life. And when I'd lost heart. And when my dream had ended. I have shipmates who believe in me. Iceberg, then your wish is. Robin, my wish is for the 6 Straw Hats, excluding me, to get off this island safely. Iceberg, you wouldn't care if you had to resurrect the weapon, and the world was to be destroyed. Robin, I don't care. Iceberg, you don't know what you're saying. Equals 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 equals. This only scene removed a heavy weight off Alvia's back as she sensed Nico Robin's true determination through her powerful words in these speech bubbles. Although the volume is already a week old, its massive aftermath continues today. The world government drew a lot of negative emotions from the angry readers. Even the celestial dragons who were supposed to be members of the world government pointed their weapons at their house and ignited the fires of anger. Nico Robin's recently suppressed popularity was quite a bit after all, but at the end of the arc, the revelation of the truth sent her popularity to a boil. It looked like an erupting volcano that had been dormant for thousands of years. In addition to this revelation, in the story of the world government's betrayal of the legendary shipwright Tom, the matter was exacerbated by the fact that many people went out to slander and insult the world government, whether in chat rooms or on the streets. This didn't surprise Robin Alvia, but it did surprise a lot of people who realized in hindsight how impressed and affected they were by the story of One Piece. The world government clenched their fists, gritted their teeth, and swallowed their anger towards the people. After all, Rob twisted the hand that really hurt them. They had no way to resist but to work more on the manga era of the world and speed up their anime project. Within the world government, the atmosphere was extremely tense. Everyone knows that the last arc was just a prelude to what was to come next. Enies Lobby arc. The world government did everything they could to reach out to Rob in order to negotiate with him about canceling the new arc release or at least twist a little of it so that it wouldn't be too damaging to the world government's public picture. They even offered plenty of benefits in the form of lands, devil fruits, and guild markets, plenty enough to lure any Yonko. But will Rob interested in them? Of course not, if there is someone that can stop him from continuing to draw One Piece as it should be. The only person in this world who can threaten him. Imu, of course, and she doesn't seem to care lately about where things are going with the manga events, but she just wants to see the results. Before Rob left Ohara for Fishman Island with Tom, the 5 elders contacted him personally, but Rob rejected them with cold words. Flashback. Ohara. Peru Peru Peru.
Inside his office in the art palace, the Den Den Mushi began to ring. Rob stared at the snail call with an interesting expression and did not hesitate to accept the call.
Gasha.
Hello, Sky Sword Rob. I have nothing to change, the new volume will be updated in a month, exactly on time. I won't change any event of the manga, I have no control over the opinions of my readers, everyone is free to make their own comments.
It is not my fault. Prepare to face the consequences of your evil actions in a different parallel universe. In this world, I will avenge Nico Robin. Sky Sword. Is this a declaration of war?
Rob cut off the call before the Gorosei could finish their words. No expression appeared on Rob's face even after showing his fangs toward the world government, he was not afraid at all. Of course, because he was fully prepared for any situation against them.
If they go to war, he will give them one.
He'll never stop his rebellion against the system with his art.
Boom!
We have to stop him from tarnishing our reputation any further.
But how?
In the semi-dark government hall, the five elders had been accustomed to easily ruling the world from this place for hundreds of years without the mightiest enemies that had passed through history being able to destabilize it. But who would have thought that 8 years after the elimination of the most dangerous man in the world, Rox D. Zebek, a much more dangerous man will appear? Not only in terms of strength, but also because of the technology in his hand, his superintelligence, and the manga of One Piece. If the five elders calculate the amount of danger that some of the most dangerous people pose to the world government, it would be like this.
GOLD, Roger, 3 out of 10. Rox D. Zebek, 5 out of 10. Ruduis D. Rob, 9 out of 10.
Since negotiating with him doesn't work, we have to act to stop things from getting worse. There are still 3 weeks left before the new volume is published. I have a feeling that Nico Robin's past with Akiji and Ohara incident will be explained. We have to tell the world that Rob slanders the government and is spurring sentiments of false opposition from readers against us.
Yeah, I agree.
I think we're giving it too much, we haven't done anything in the manga, Rob has no right to slander us. Although they tried to lighten the atmosphere, the sweat on their foreheads was enough to show how nervous they were about the upcoming volume. All they could do was pray that the damage caused by it wouldn't be more deadly than what happened in Water 7.
What about the Pluton blueprints? Tom is already in Rob's hands, we can't do anything about it at the moment. Chapter 290, Water 7 Saga, Enies Lobby Arc. 3 weeks later. Location, West Blue, Ohara. Event, the first day of the new One Piece volume update. Water 7 Saga, Enies Lobby Arc. Stop what you're doing right now. Everyone. Come here. All of you. Leave everything out of your hands. What's going on, Professor?
Zadie was confused by the situation, the expression on Professor Clover's face looked unusually very serious today. The atmosphere inside the Tree of Knowledge was what it used to be, but today it seemed as if something had changed.
Something is not in the right place.
From the moment Professor Clover walked in, holding a manga book in his hand.
Ha 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 ha. Why all the seriousness? Today is update day, guys. Go to the art store to get your One Piece volume.
The serious expression on Clover's face changed to a smiling one, he just wanted to annoy those comrades who had been so deeply involved in historical research for the past weeks. Since he told them about the story of the Knowledge's Light Clan, it seemed as if they had taken drugs.
Sigh, for a moment we thought the Navy was surrounding the island.
You hit us, Professor, the former celestial dragon, Don Quixote homing, sighed in relief, even some sweat could be seen on his forehead.
Ha 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 ha. Don't worry, it's not like the Navy can surround this island right now, and even if they have the ability.
They should first solve their current problems, after all, the whole world looks down on them.
Even pirates. Yes, the manga of One Piece caused huge losses to the world government and the Navy.
Their secret organization CP9 was completely disabled, as they had to announce it as an official organization after it appeared in the manga.
An archaeologist laughed at the predicament of the world government as he spoke. They deserve it. I'm glad someone like Mr. Rob exists.
He tore up the world government in a very classy way, sigh. Another archaeologist sighed in admiration. After all, the archaeologists here knew a lot about the true face of the world government and the true history.
The world government didn't call them demons without reason.
Yes, they called us demons.
They'll pay for it.
But Professor,
did you just say the volume update day? Wait, today is the legendary Sunday. An astonished expression appeared on Zadie's face after he realized today's date.
Not only Zadie, but the same expression appeared on the face of all the archaeologists who had just remembered the professor's first words.
Hurrah!
Sigh, your mind has become rusty, guys. Clover smiled, seeing the excited archaeologists leave everything in their hands and run out of the knowledge tree toward the art store with excited expressions.
It's okay, the important thing is that they are alive and well, right, teacher?
Clover looked back and was surprised by the appearance of his distinguished student, whom he often sees only in the art store.
Olivia, you're right, the most important thing is that. Huh? What happened? Why you're crying?
After noticing her smiling expression and her red eyes with remnants of tears, Clover's relaxed expression changed to a worried one.
Is it Rob? Did he make you cry?
Just tell me, I'll discipline him for sure.
Olivia looked at the manga book in Clover's hand and said with a complex expression. Looks like you just bought it, and you haven't read it yet, right? Huh? Do you mean the new volume? Yeah, I just bought it already. Teacher, you appeared in that volume. Huh? Really?
What a piece of great news. Please don't spoil the events anymore. Let me read it first and we'll talk about why you're crying later. Immediately after that, Clover sat in a nearby chair and put on his glasses before opening the only volume that would affect him so much to the point that nothing else would ever affect him in the future like this volume.
Equals 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 equals.
Water 7 Saga, Enies Lobby Arc.
Chapter 400, The Superhumans of Enies Lobby. The name of Miss Goldenweek's strategy, Meet Baroque Volume 13, spotted by Hina. Puffing Tom, first car. Frankie, he's still alive? For real? Robin, yes. That's what he said. Frankie, so, Iceberg's still hanging in there.
The long nose told me that he died, but I knew he wouldn't go out so easily.
Robin, CP9 likely intended to kill him.
You should keep quiet about this for his sake.
Frankie, you're pretty smart. So, I have the blueprints of the weapon. And you have the power to awaken it.
Then, the government acquired both keys to the ancient weapon. The day of Armageddon, when this weapon finally emerges,
is the day when the age of pirates will end? Robin. Frankie.
Then the world government will use its power to change the world to its liking. My teacher sacrificed his own life to keep the blueprint of this dangerous weapon out of the wrong hands and from endangering the world.
It's not enough for me to escape, I have to get you back to those pirates. Robin, that's impossible. If I go back to them, I'll just put them in danger.
Frankie, you're the only one who's in danger.
They say your very existence is a crime. But, no matter what kind of weapon you hold, that, alone, is never a crime. Flashback. Tom, no matter what kind of ship it is, the ship itself is neither good nor evil.
Rob Lucci, from as back as she can remember, her existence is a crime.
Frankie, it's never a crime just to exist. Equals 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 equals. North Blue, Flevin's country. Ancient weapons again.
The world government will not get them. Luffy and his crew are already coming to rescue Robin.
Yes. You're right, Frankie. The existence is not a crime.
The world government has abused its power in various ways over the past centuries. While reading the first chapter, Trafalgar Du Watercress, the president of the New Flevin's country, couldn't keep his mouth shut and he left a comment. Today, he was very tired from work, but having a Sunday as a break day from work is not a bad idea. The world government is on its way to the abyss, my dear, don't you think?
This volume is going to be a gallows.
Besides him, his wife Mary showed an upset expression when she mentioned the world government. Recently everyone was upset with this arrogant entity that takes everything without giving anything. The manga of One Piece has revealed hidden things.
Yes, I have this feeling, too. This volume will be a dividing line between two eras.
My dear, Flevance and its inhabitants are safe thanks to Mr. Rob. That is why we will always be with Mr. Rob. If the day comes when he needs our support, we will help him even if it comes at the cost of our lives, Chris said. He is the last light from the Knowledge's Light Clan. And he shouldn't be extinguished no matter what happens. That wraps up this part of What If Becoming a Mangaka in One Piece World.
Thanks so much for listening.
As always, new parts drop every 4 days, so be sure to stay tuned.
Quick reminder.
What If copy system in Naruto will be going on hold soon, since we've nearly caught up with the author. So now, I need your help picking the next project for the channel.
I'm currently deciding between these 3 fanfics.
What if Transmigrated in One Piece and becoming a Marine?
What if Transmigrated as Minato Namikaze? What if Transmigrated into a nightmare mode Dragon Ball world? Please vote in the poll and let me know which story you'd like to see next. I'll take the top pick and start working on that series next.
Also check out my Patreon channel for early releases of all the series, where you can find all the series released one day ahead of YouTube. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and please consider supporting the original author as well.
See you in the next one.